So we are beautiful island in Hawaii for playing golf. Sony Hawaiian, Sony Open in Hawaii. But we limit only discussion about golf in 5 minutes. Do you have any comment about the golf, Son-san?
Well, he's the captain.
That's right.
He's the long driver. He's outdriven me every time I've played with you.
Yeah. So, since when you have started playing golf?
I started actually when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old.
6 or 7 years old?
I used to go out with my dad and he had a pull
That's
cart.
the difference of a handicap, isn't it?
Yeah, I would go out with my dad and he had a pull cart. I'd have to reach up to grab the pull cart to be able to help pull his bag. That's how small I was.
Cousin carry or?
Well, I'd just pull his cart. I couldn't carry his bag. It was too big.
So now your handicap is now?
My handicap is my job, Bill Gates. I have 2 little boys in diapers and it's about a 5 right now because of all that.
スコット・マクネリーさんっていうのはスタンフォードを出てすぐワークステーションの会社を作ったというので、一時はソニーのニュースとサンのワークステーションが、競争してたわけだけど、サンマイクロシステムっていうのはハードウェア会社から出たんだけども、今はもうソフトウェアとハードと非常にコンビネーションをよくやっててね、でなんていうのかな、マイクロソフトと対立して協調しながら業界を起きているっていう会社ですね。で僕はもうビル・ゲイツもスコット・マクニールも仲がいいんだけど、今回両方誘ったんですよ。スコットが来るとビル・ゲイツは来ないのかな。で、彼らはゴルフうまいしね、ベンチャーの U だから、そういう意味で孫さんと2人アメリカと日本のベンチャーということでね、こちらは大企業だけどよかったじゃないですか。I have 2 handicaps.
Yeah.
Sony,
yeah,
and my family.
Yeah, well, we all have our handicaps. Now, Son, he doesn't have any handicaps.
I don't think so. No, he has no handicap. No
I have a
handicap.
bunch of handicaps.
So that your official is 5.
5. Yeah.
Son-san?
9, maybe.
9.
No, I mean, you never want to play a guy who says maybe. If he doesn't know what his handicap is, you don't want to play him.
My handicap is actually 13. So
13? You're a good 13.
No, I thought to be a single handicap, but yeah.
Well,
really...
I'm counting on you playing well tomorrow so we can win this thing.
Yeah, we are all in the same team tomorrow.
So there you have it.
I think so, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's compete.
So how long have you been playing?
Well, since after my college graduate. My Son-san.
I started about 10 years ago.
It's only 10 years ago.
Most improved, huh?
Most improved.
Yeah.
Like
SoftBank.
Stock price.
Up and down, up and down. Triple bogey birdie, triple bogey birdie.
孫さんはね、なんていうかな、直感で仕事をする人なんだよね。ものすごい頭いいんじゃないですか。で、もちろん理論的なところもあるんだけど、彼の勘っていうのはすごくて、で、結局彼の持ってる全ての経営的なリソースをインターネットにこの数年間かけたわけだよね。それが今この3年すごく実ってきて、彼の本業以上にアメリカでやったインベストメントが大きくなったじゃないですか。特にヤフーだとかそういうものにね、3年前に100万ドル投資したら、それが今1兆4、5千億ぐらいになってるじゃないですか。だからそういう意味では非常に先見の明のある方なんですよね。だからソニーがコンピューターをね再び始めるっていうんで、いろいろと相談に乗ってもらってるんですよ。ですからそういうもんで、僕はあとジェネレーションは違うけど、彼は僕が25、6の時から知ってるんだね。だからそういう意味では孫さん、マックニーリーさんっていうのは日本とアメリカのベンチャービジネスの、そういう意味ではトップの人なんじゃないかな。
You never know what happens tomorrow morning.
He swings hard though. I'll give him credit. He does.
No, he hit much longer than I do.
Sometimes if you swing slower, it goes farther.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. There's a statistic in the United States that the relation of the result of the company and the handicap of the CEO.
Yes.
And
Yeah, they quoted his score.
That's right.
Yeah. That was the argument.
Jack Welch of GE
Yeah.
and
Scott.
Scott of the Sun Micro.
The one person who wasn't on the curve was Bill Gates. He was very successful and a horrible golfer. So
I think he tried to improve.
yeah, he's trying.
I played together actually in Tokyo, only our 9-hole, and he finished at 44. Not bad for him.
Well, his handicap is U.S. government.
Yeah, Janet Reno.
And Scott.
Who? Me?
So let's talk about the business a little bit. So Sun Microsystems, sun means it's a sunshine, but it's actually stands for Stanford University Network.
Right.
You studied right after graduation? Or?
It was a spin out of Stanford. A German engineer had created a Sun workstation, a Stanford University Network workstation. And then we got Bill Joy out of Berkeley, who had done the Berkeley version of Unix.
So original member is this German...
Andy Bechtelsheim.
Oh, and also Bill Joy.
Bill Joy. And then Vinod Khosla was the original president.
Oh, I see.
And I was the manufacturing manager. That was my first. So those were the four founders.
You started as a manufacturing manager?
Yeah, and about 2 years into it, they fired the chairman and the president on the same day. And
so you were in the company from the day?
Yes, I was one of the four founders.
One of the four founders.
Right.
You couldn't stop speaking.
Well, they fired the chairman and the president, and they asked me to take over temporarily.
Oh, I see.
And we started looking for a new CEO. And we're still looking. We've been entirely unsuccessful. But
No. You became so famous.
Great success. Great success.
well, it's
right.
accidental empires is a very accurate.
You really.
So at that time, you were all students or the graduate?
We were all 27 years old.
27 years old. That
All
means
four of us.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I had 3 years business experience, which was more than the other three founders combined.
Oh.
To give you an idea of how
You
inexperienced.
worked for other company or?
I had worked for Rockwell International, FMC
see.
Corporation, and a little company that was the first company to put Unix on a microprocessor,
I see.
which is kind of like inventing the wheel, but they went out of business. They just didn't do very well. So, it's
Why didn't you go to bigger company like IBM or the ATT or?
well, I had actually started at Rockwell, then FMC, and they were both multi-billion-dollar companies, and it just. I don't know. I always wanted to start my own company and see if I could make it on my own. I never thought I'd be CEO. I always thought I'd be one of the founders, but not the CEO. And in fact,
it looks you're a natural CEO.
well, it turns out
Especially in Silicon Valley.
the bigger the company gets, the more natural I feel. I think that fits probably more with what I'm good at.
So Bill Joy in charge for the development of the software,
Right.
and you're in charge for the manufacturing first.
Manufacturing,
But soon after you become CEO,
yes.
and then remaining other two gentlemen. What?
Well, Vinod Khosla retired at the age of 29.
Retired at the age of 29.
And then he's now a venture capitalist
He's a
with,
venture capitalist
with Kleiner Perkins.
Kleiner Perkins, yes.
Yeah,
Kleiner Perkins.
I
the
met
famous
him.
John Doerr Kleiner Perkins, right?
I met him a couple of times. Smart guy.
Yeah, and Andy Bechtelsheim left us about 2 years ago and worked for 10 months on a new switch, a networking switch. Cisco bought his company for about $225 million after 10 months of work. So he did very, very well, and he's now working for Cisco.
So your generation and Bill Gates' generation is the exactly same?
Yeah, we were at Harvard together.
Harvard together at same.
Did you know each other at Harvard?
No, he dropped out. I finished. My mistake. Look what staying at Harvard did.
You stay longer.
In fact, Steve Ballmer was at Stanford Business School, and he dropped out of Stanford Business School, and I finished. And the real problem is they got a huge head start, but there's.
Son-san, did you finish your studies? Or?
Yeah, I finished.
Good for you.
Berkeley.
I'm glad you stayed in school. That's good for you.
Yeah.
So that's real
When I was a
success.
student at Berkeley, Bill Joy was already becoming famous.
Right.
Yeah.
Was he there when you were?
I didn't know it in person, but soon after I graduated from college, people were already talking about Bill Joy.
Right. He's pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
That's always an advantage when you start a company.
And Berkeley was famous for Unix.
Right.
What is the key factor of the success of such a venture startup company? Combination of the people or technology or luck?
I think it's luck, it's timing, it's a right combination of people. I think it differs in different cases. I don't consider myself responsible for starting Sun. I look at Son and think, no, there's an entrepreneur, a guy who really started with nothing and created just an unbelievable organization.
Did you bring any venture capitalist money from the very beginning?
Yes, we did. We had about $4 million of venture capital from 4 different firms the first year.
And that $4 million was now?
Well, our market value is now about $36 billion. So
It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot of money. Yeah. Well, you know, the nice thing about software startups is you don't have to use a lot of cash.
Right.
Equipment, we had to give away half the
How do
company.
you define your company? Is it a hardware company or a software company?
Systems company.
Systems company.
Yeah, I mean, you do hardware and software at Sony, right? And it's hard to say you're one or the other, but a camera without software today is just
left and right and
it's exactly the same, the other side of the coin. So.
Yeah, but if you didn't have Solaris, if you didn't have Java and so on, your market value, enterprise value would be much.
If you're only a Unix, workstation manufacturer,
as an equipment company.
Yeah, there's a company that did that, and it's called SGI, and that's a very bad situation to be in. And you know, there's no question, Solaris and Java and Genie, with this new technology and the merging with Javi. Are very, very important. The home network technologies that are. It's going to be nice. Someday we'll actually be able to plug all of our equipment in without having to call a technician in or getting a teenager in to do it for us. So you know, that's going to be a big step forward.
Yeah, it's a kind of dream to have a kind of all networked environments.
Well, explain about Genie.
Well, Genie is basically a technology that assumes you have the Java platform on every device, so that when you plug devices into the network over a very large, wide area network,
television, computer, or telephone,
printers, copiers, faxes, even your automobile, your cell phone, they will automatically register with each other. They'll kind of, using little agent software, go out over the network and say, I'm a printer, I'm available now, I'm available to you, and I work. And because they all speak the same language, they will all communicate, and you won't have to carry drivers around on floppies, you won't have to administer. And that in combination with Javi will move us from the world of plug and play, which is plug it in and play with it.
Television, CD, DVD, personal computers, anything as at home maybe should be connected.
We call it plug and work. You plug it in and it works. And it'll be a very, very different world.
Yeah, each unit identify itself.
I think the global handicap of the world will come down because people have more time to play golf, and they'll have less time playing with their electronics.
That's good. I always welcome that. Anything to improve my handicap.
Son, you started a company in the United States or Japan?
Actually, I started my company when I was a student at Berkeley.
Berkeley.
Small company. And after I finished college, I went back to Japan and restarted SoftBank.
So how old were you when you started it?
The first one, I was 19, 20 years old, something like that.
Child genius.
And it was a little device. Later on, it became Sharp Wizard. You know.
It's kind of.
The electronic dictionary and the calendar.
So Sharp bought your technology out.
Yeah, I filed for patent license. Patent pending, and then sold the license to Sharp for about $1 million. As a 19, 20 years old kid,
that was fun.
A lot of money. That was good. I bought Porsche.
So you have experienced the raising company in Japan, also in America.
Yeah.
So is it different?
Yeah, very different. In fact, starting the first company in the state helped me a lot later on, because the first employee that I hired was American guys, with American rules and so on. So even if I restarted my business in Japan, the first thing you see after you hatch the egg, first thing you see, get imprinted into your brain, right?
Oh, I see.
So the first thing I saw in the business world was the American style business. So even if I did business in Japan since then, it always reminded me the American way of doing business.
But at that time in Japan, so how long? 20 years ago or what?
17 years ago.
17 years ago. There's no venture capitalist or
No,
any
no.
help from...
And that was lucky for me, because if there was enough venture capitalists in Japan, then they invested into SoftBank very early. My ownership at SoftBank would be less than 5% by now.
Did you face a situation? I know when we were 27 in the Silicon Valley, people were not worried that we were young because Steve Jobs had started Apple even at a younger age. Did you have any people look at you and say you're just too young?
Yeah.
So that was a big issue.
Yeah, every time they said, what do you
How
have?
old are you?
Where's your experience, right?
The experience.
Yeah, what's your name?
Well, it turns out in the internet world, experience can be the worst thing.
Yeah.
And these children who are growing up networked on the web are getting wired, they're getting programmed, they're getting developed in a way that we're just not we're just not built that way, and it's kind of hard sometimes for us to give up our old ways of thinking.
Yeah. The business model is totally different.
But even in the United States, I think West Coast, Silicon Valley culture, and East Coast, IBM culture is totally different.
Very different.
But I think Japan is much closer to IBM world, or how do you...
Even farther than that.
There are parts of it that are farther, yet, people say Japan isn't a great innovator, and I just look at the products that come out of Japan and say that's the most innovative.
Well, you are very diplomatic.
No,
today.
I'm serious.
Look at some products out the cameras.
I just gave everybody in our family, all my brothers and sister and parents, one of the new Mavic digital cameras, and I'll tell you what, that is just the coolest piece of technology. The new notebook computers, and I can't wait to get the new Trinitron. Is it Vega?
That's right.
The Vega screen. I mean, that is technology that nobody else in the world can.
I think Japan is far number one concerning the planning the products and manufacturing products. Yeah. But the combination of the software is another story.
Software is a different thing, and I don't know why different areas are better at different things. It's just the good news is we have lots of open trade, and we can bring Java technology to your appliances.
Right. Yeah.
When I visited the museum in Washington, what was the name?
Smithsonian?
Smithsonian, yes.
Yeah.
Smithsonian. And then I visited the area where all kinds of information age, things were
technology, right?
Since when? I mean, since 1960s or
no.
go back to...
The first thing I was very surprised was that in 1941, during the war, the U.S. government put a lot of budget already, and
for the computer.
For computer.
Right, for the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, and most of the good universities, they had their budget from the government for computer study. And that was what the U.S. government was already geared toward, thinking strategy, using computer technology for the war. When Japanese were, gathering a bunch of metals and, fires and so on.
Well, I'm not an expert, but I can also say that the U.S. government has been very good about granting money in directed research, but not overly directed.
Right.
And I think too often there have been projects like Tron and some of the others that were, so narrowly focused and picked the winners, as opposed to letting the companies pick the winners. And I think it's very, very difficult for government to pick winners. More they can only fuel.
When MIT introduced the strategy of Tron, I was one of them who was very against, because that's stopped the development of the
it moves
technology.
too fast. By the time you can get your gun loaded, the duck has flown over the horizon. It's too hard.
You cannot imagine MITI designing automobile, MITI designing TV or so on. So, but MITI tried to design PC, which is impossible.
Well, I think the other problem for Japan in the software space is that the software world has really been controlled by Microsoft very, very aggressively, and I don't think it's been an open development process. And I think now with the new network-based technologies like HTML in the browser and HTTP and the Java technologies,
that's right.
I think there'll be a bigger opportunity
Yeah, I think
here.
PC as a box and PC in the network is totally different.
Right,
I think.
exactly right. Right. I mean, the PC on the internet is called the browser.
Yeah, browser.
Fundamentally, and the browser is being embedded into devices as small. We have a browser that actually fits in the size of a cell phone.
That's right.
And now you can surf web pages.
No,
from your cell
Microsoft.
phone.
No. I mean, Apple computers stocking out.
Yeah, he's done well.
So that means in network environment, OS is less important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what kind of OS is.
And Apple is convincing us that colors matter too. I heard him announcing
That is only one.
right. This delicious strawberry red computer. I don't usually chew on my computer, but
Now they provide 4 or 5 different colors.
Six
different colors.
Add another one. Probably make a rainbow. So how do you see internet, the evolution of internet?
Oh, it's a big wave. Nobody can stop. And Bill Gates was almost surpassing. And at the last moment they
He made a
realized.
U-turn.
Yeah. But it's a big thing that I think PC or workstation will be just a subset of the internet industry. Internet industry will cover many industries, including financial industry, the resale industry,
So
automobile
internet
industry.
business is internet business as a kind of communication. I mean, a tool. I think it's very convenient. But